Hey folks, Lemonade here, and today we have something that's a little bit new and a little bit fresh, which has been hard to do in this oversaturated mousepad market. But we'll get into all the details about this special little mousepad right after this. Small disclaimer here, FreeFall did send me this free for review, but that will never change the outcome of any review on this channel. My opinions are my own, and you are seeing this as early as FreeFall. By the way, if you decide you enjoy the video at some point while you're watching, don't forget to like and sub down below. It does help the channel out a lot. Thanks. All right, we're going to knock out the specs per usual, and I'll put those right up here for you folks. So this brand new company, FreeFall, came out of nowhere and developed something quite interesting in the mousepad space. Most of the time I get reached out to review mouse pads, they end up being, standard OEM pads and that we've seen before from some other company. And there's usually very little added value when you're comparing it to the competition. Now, that doesn't make those pads bad. Let me just be clear. It's just not that exciting for me as a reviewer at times. Anyway, with that all out of the way, just so everyone was aware, I'm actively trying to make my mousepad reviews a little bit more concise and get to what matters most for you all, which is the quality of the pad. What does it actually compare to in the thousands of options we already have? And is it worth its asking price? So I actually got sent two of these by mistake, which honestly was a pleasant surprise. Normally I only get one, so it's going to be really interesting to compare both of these for consistency's sake. And lucky for everyone, they were both pretty much identical, except two things. One of the things here was that the stitching line for both the pads starts in the upper left corner, and it actually kind of sticks out above the pad right there. And another thing here is that the FreeFall logo is just a little bit clearer on the copy I normally use. As you can see, the scales down here are a little bit more detailed than these scales down there. It looks like the ink is kind of muddied a little bit. Again, a subtle difference. Well, I let FreeFall know of this, and they're already making plans to kind of tighten those two areas up. In terms of packaging, they both came flat packed in this super thick cardboard, almost like a glass pad, and it was wrapped in plastic and a bubble wrap inside the box, which is great to see. The stitching, as you can see, is overall exceptional. It's fantastic, incredibly thin. It's essentially flush to the surface. There's really no improvement area that I can say for them. Now, in terms of comparisons, it gets a bit trickier with this one because of its one main unique feature, the base. So they engineered this custom base solution. They spent over 12 months apparently kind of reformulating and re-engineering a proprietary mixture. It kind of feels like a slab of silicone when you're feeling it. It has this glossy kind of finish, and of course their FreeFall logo pressed into it. The SV base, as they call it, was designed for consistency, well, because it's actually pretty hard. Obviously it's flexible, as you can see, but it doesn't really give much, like, at all. Especially when you put it on a hard desk, it just feels like you're playing on a hard pad. I'd say on the artisan scale it would fall as like a mid plus, meaning that it's just a touch firmer than mid. Now, I've always been a fan of mid or soft style pads because building consistency on those type of surfaces just makes more sense. X-Soft, while it does feel really nice to the touch, it's actually really pliable, and that can lead to kind of more accidental control in the heat of the moment as you press down into it. Now, an added bonus to this, it's actually very sticky, but not in the way that Poron or Alpha Cell is, where they kind of suction cup onto your desk and you have to peel them off. This material is very dense and very heavy. When you lift the mousepad up, you can feel that. And the silicone blend really helps it stay very firm on your desk. But when you need to move it, it's just very simple. You just pick it up like a standard rubber pad. So the surface itself is a rougher hybrid style surface, similar to like Locust pads, or more specifically here, the Lethal Gimme Gear Venus Pro, as you can see in these photos here. So this isn't going to be smooth like a Vaxi PA, or maybe quite as rough as a Hien. I would say on the artisan scale, kind of similar to the Hate Atsu. And here's a quick sound test with the Venus Pro. But see, now this is where I run into a little problem with this pad. The way they describe it on their website and in the name, Control Plus, Extreme Control, Maximum Control. Well, it's not that. I mean, listen, it's a firm, hard base with a surface like a Lethal Gaming Gear Venus. It's not really going to produce a pad that I would consider controlled. Now, yes, in game, I do have a high level of stability over something like a SkyPad or a Vancer Ice Pad, of course. And I do like pads that have some built-in control, which this has. This has a kind of nice balance of control and speed, leaning a bit to the speed side of the spectrum, of course, with lower dynamic and static friction. But I just recommend FreeFall, if you're watching, to fix the description on the website, because I think the enthusiast community is going to think that extreme control is going to feel like a GSR, QCK, a PureTrack MF1. And on the flip side, you know, fans of those pads are going to be disappointed if they order this. That all being said, though, I do really like what FreeFall did with this pad. They came out with something new and fresh and created a really fun pad in this, you know, sweet Tiffany color, which is doubly as rare to see in mouse pads. I'm a big fan of these kind of cloth hybrid pads with firmer bases. They give that good consistency of a glass pad with the comfort of a cloth surface. That said, if you're a fan of the Hatayatsu in mid, or you've really been waiting for that Venus Pro in mid to eventually come, I think people are really going to enjoy this one a lot. And for the price of 35 bucks, I'd say this is way more than fair, considering you're going to easily spend $50 or $60 for the competition I just mentioned. And you can find this on Lethal Gaming Gear or FreeFall's website. And on that note, folks, all my socials are down below per usual, along with any affiliate links for the brands that I trust, and use code LEMONADE to possibly save a few bucks. If you had a good time with me today, likes and subs are always appreciated. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts were. But until the next Fresh Squeeze video, stay thirsty, folks.